Okay, good afternoon, good evening, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Afro IT Solutions. This is an online program helping IT enthusiasts, especially those from Africa. We are specialized in supporting Africans. Africans. We are more focused on Africans, though we can't stop others from different continents, but we are more focused on Africans because we have tailored a curriculum to inspire Africans, especially some of us who have zero background in IT, information technology. We've tried to tailor the IT program to reflect our African heritage, our African culture, our African balance, our African language, our African style, which is quite different from the white man style. So that is what we have been doing with Africans. It is more of a charity, humanitarian initiative. It is not money focus or money making, and it's a family. For those who have been part of the program, they already know it's a family. So if you are joining, know you are part of a family. It is not a teacher-student relationship, it is a family. So we are doing everything possible to demystify information technology to ensure that Africans who are interested in information technology, though you got zero background in IT, you are from history background, you are from manual labor background, you are from literature, whatever, religious studies, it is not a barrier, right? There is no like criteria for you to join this program. The only criteria for you to join this program is dedication, is seriousness. So we need to be dedicated, we need to be serious. We were supposed to start at 12 p.m. We are starting at 10 minutes past 12. It doesn't show any dedication, any seriousness. So this time around, we're going to be extremely hard because we want to work with 2 or 3 students who are dedicated, who are focused, who are result oriented. All right. That's fine. So welcome once more. I am Ikangaki Njang. Um, I don't like identifying myself with borrowed names. Josh Gideon is also part of my name, so Ikangaki Josh Gideon Njang. I am an African, a Cameroonian from Nguti. Some of you who are already part of this program, you definitely know how deep I love Nguti. I can hardly speak for 2 minutes without mentioning Nguti because it's one of the most beautiful town in the world. So I'm very proud being an African and from Nguti. So feel free to, as I said, this is a family. Feel free to express yourself. Don't think you are in a very formal environment. No, feel free to express yourself. While I'm talking, if you have a point to make, you have any contribution to do, unmute yourself and jump in. Stop me, right? It is welcome. So once more, you're highly welcome. As I said, I'm Ikanga Kinjang from Africa. I've been helping Africans in IT for the past 3 years or more. Like officially for the past 2 to 3 years, I've been helping Africans in IT. I'm also an IT enthusiast. It's not like I'm perfect. I'm even good in IT. I just have passion in IT. So the little I know, I try to transmit to others who want to get to where I am. Though I am still working extremely hard to keep progressing. So that's where I am, and that's how I can help you. I am more specialized in supporting those with zero background IT. I have supported, and I have track record of bringing Africans from zero to advanced. I wouldn't say heroes, right? Advanced, and we have Africans who passed through me, and today they are comfortable in the IT market. They are making big money. Unfortunately, recently the market has been down, right? It has become extremely difficult, to not an impossibility, but it is not as it was a year or two ago. But however, I keep telling Africans, this is the right moment for you to build a solid foundation. This is the right moment for you to build a solid foundation. You have your small job that you're doing. You are looking at the bigger picture, right? You have to get out of your comfort zone and look at the bigger picture. Most of you who are joining today for the first time, I think majority are here. When I had a chat or a conversation with you, I decided to accept you into this program because I realized you know what you want to do. You know, you have an objective. And that's why I brought it in. As I said, it is not about money making. It's about um, charity. It's about empowering Africans, empowering ourselves. If you aren't empowered, your family won't be empowered. Your community won't be empowered. Your country won't be empowered. Your continent won't be empowered. I think the best way, I keep telling Africans, the best way we can change our story is by empowering ourselves, right? Is by empowering ourselves. The best way, the easiest way we can kick dictators out of Africa is by empowering ourselves, right? So if we are able to put food on a table, if we are able to stretch out, to reach out to others in our family, if we are able to reach out to our community, to our country, and to the world, that is empowerment. But if you can't provide for yourself, no matter how sympathetic you are you are towards others, you definitely won't be able to support them. So here we are. This is Afro IT Solutions. From the name, Afro represents Africa, right? So it's all about Africa. And we've been having Americans part of this program, but we aren't very comfortable when we have um, uh, brothers and sisters out of Africa, because we try to customize it into our African setting. We speak English is a dominant language. We speak Pidgin English, which is a language very popular in West Africa. At times we may come in with slangs in French. We try to make it very flexible. And at times I may even speak Nguti. So some of you who can speak Nguti, you have an advantage. All right, so let us start by explaining the cause. Because IT is extremely broad. IT is extremely broad. Now, for those who are joining, what specific in IT are you going to see? What specific in IT? Now, our focus is on DevOps. The focus of this program is on DevOps. What is DevOps? DevOps stands for Development and Operations. So it is a profession. It is a profession that is responsible, or that has a lot to do with application build. So all of these applications that we're using, the social media applications, the TikTok, the LinkedIn, the Facebook, the YouTube, whatever, the websites you visit, Amazon, e-commerce, all of the website, flip chart and the rest. These are applications that are built by two IT professionals. Two IT professionals. You have the developers. They are more responsible in writing the code. So whatever applications we see, whatever application you see, it is written in a special language. It is written in a special language, which is called programming language. Now, these developers will write that code in that language, and you and I, they call us operations, system administrators. We have that responsibility to deploy that application. What does that mean by deployment? We build the application and we make it accessible to the audience, be it the world at large, be it just a company, depending on the requirement. Some companies will build applications that is just for the company. We're going to build that. Others are building applications that everybody in the world can access, like the social medias that I just named, right? So that is our responsibility. Now, we aren't just jumping on DevOps. We aren't just jumping on start teaching you on how to build an application. We are starting from zero. We are dealing with Africans whom we assume have zero knowledge in IT. They know nothing in information technology. That is our audience. So, though our objective is to be experts in building applications, called DevOps engineer. So you are called, by the end of the day, you'll be called a DevOps engineer. Your responsibility is to build applications. Let me write it down for those who are just joining. All right. So this is going to be your title at the end of the program. Dev, this is how to spell it. Dev, it represents developers. Ops, it represents operations. So at the end of the program, you'll be called a DevOps engineer. You become a DevOps engineer. It means you're specialized in provisioning infrastructure, both on premises and in the cloud. Please, these words, for those who are just joining, they may be new to you, but with time you understand them. As we grow in the program, we'll be explaining, you become experts in, so your responsibility is to build the cloud, build servers, configure servers, deploy applications, ensure that the applications are running, ensure that there are no issues while customers are accessing this application. Customers have good experience. Customers are not complaining that, the application, the delay, I try for login, it only, it's like you won't log into Zoom to be part of this session. You have challenges. Maybe the Zoom application has the problem. I'm not talking about your internet connectivity, right? But maybe the Zoom application is not well constructed and you are having difficulties to join. So it is you and our responsibility to ensure that we fix those issues. Now, as we said, that is our endpoint. But we don't want to assume if we just jump on, start teaching you application B and deployment, you're going to be confused, because 80% of us have no knowledge in information technology. We are just interested. Maybe we've heard, or maybe have natural passion for information technology, or we want to go in for big money. We are targeting very high, which is very important. As Africans, we need to target very high. We need to go in for professions that are going to help us in empowering ourselves, our kids, our wives, our husbands, our immediate family, extended family, community, and the rest. So this is the right place. This is the right place. You've targeted the right thing. So we are not assuming that, all right, there are some who have IT background, and like when you go online, you see courses, they are not designed for beginners with zero IT knowledge. So this is our approach to get to the end of the tunnel, which is DevOps engineering. We're going to empower you. We're going to empower you through a lot of IT professions. I mean, you're going to gain IT knowledge from the scratch, but you may end up not being a DevOps engineer. The kind of knowledge we want to give you for a period of time, let's say 5 to 6 months, you may end up not being a DevOps engineer. You can be a network engineer. You can be a cloud engineer. Now, this is where we're going to start. We are starting from the very beginning of the creation of man and communication. If we talk of information technology, it's communication, right? Is how it has evolved. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on it, but we'll try to trace from the early man. We'll try to trace from the early man how communication was done. Communication is the act of transmitting. By talking, I'm communicating. By gestures, I'm communicating. By signals, I'm communicating. By writing, I'm communicating. By drawing, I'm communicating. So there are many ways to communicate. That is what is called information technology. Now we'll try to understand how communication was done in the days of the old early man and how it started improving, because by the time of they weren't talking. Early men were not talking, right? Their communication was predominantly based on gestures, signs. So we'll trace from there. We'll trace from there. Then we start seeing the progress. How from early men we move to writings, right? Cuneiform, hieroglyphics, right? Just we are not going any deep. We just want to have that historical background. From there, the initiatives on 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 in technological inventions like gramophone, like cassettes, like telephones, all of that, then we'll narrow down to the invention of computers. The invention of computers. Now, we are not so much interested. We are not so much interested, or we're not going to focus a lot on the invention of computers, which by then they were called mainframes. Computers were called mainframes. Sorry. We're not going to focus so much on the invention of computers. Now, where are we going to spend a lot of time, which is the foundation, of every technology we see today? That's why we are taking our time to teach you. We are not teaching you by rushing over technologies or rushing over things and we say, okay, we are certified. No, we are teaching you for you to be able, we are making you ambassadors, African ambassadors, for you to be able to teach others, for you to be able to carry on an argument, that's positive argument, constructive argument in IT, We don't want you to find yourself in a situation whereby you say, I've completed, or I'm doing IT, I'm doing DevOps with Mr. Ikangaki, and they ask you a question in IT, you cannot contribute. You mustn't be an expert, but at least we want to put you in a situation whereby you, in your day-to-day, things that you never thought about, right? You're using your phone, you're using gadgets and the rest, you have computer, you've never thought about all of that. But by the time you start learning this program, things will get done. It's like, oh, okay, I now understand why this is behaving like this. I now understand. So we are starting from the very basics. Now, we said our focus is not on the invention of computers, which then they were called mainframes. Our focus is on communication. Communication. How do computers communicate? We don't focus on invention, no. Now, they have invented two computers. How will these computers communicate like you and I? How will these two computers? This is the foundation of anything IT. Anything IT you hear, if you aren't able to explain to your grandmother, like what I'm doing, my grandma in Guti, Mami Dola, I'm able to explain to her for her to understand. If you aren't able to explain to your boyfriend who has no IT knowledge, if you aren't able to explain to your girlfriend, your wife, your brothers, your sisters, your parents who have zero IT knowledge, it means you are not studying IT. Because this is the foundation of today you hear artificial intelligence, everything, the foundation is from this initial communication. Without this initial communication, there is no IT. So that is where we're going to start. We'll examine the first attempt for computers to communicate. We said we are not so much interested on how computers were built, invention, no. Our interest is communication, information technology, how computers started communicating. That is the very foundation. That is the very foundation. So that leads us to the first module of the program. The first module of the program, which is networking fundamentals.